Hi, welcome. This is just going to be dropping cards already. um, I guess a weekly or daily, whatever applies to you. I got some new decks, so I thought I would just pull from those and see what happens and go from there. So, welcome. If you're new, always use your own logic, discernment, judgment, intuition when making decisions, and hopefully this will be a spark or inspiration, clarity for you whatever it is that you're wondering about, and stay open-minded to timing and context as well. So let's get started. I guess I'll start with the Art of Life Tarot to pull one foundational card and see what advice, encouragement, foresight, wisdom there is for the highest and greatest good. To come. This is the Wheel of Fortune. To everything there's cards are going everywhere. To everything there's a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Ecclesiastes 3:1-4. Zodiac, detailed by Alphonse Marie Mucha, however you pronounce it. 1896, Czech Republic. Lots of doodads and this is the Wheel of Fortune. It's about timing sometimes, maybe just in the nick of time or something like that. It can also just be about luck and fate and destiny and sometimes karma, just also depending on which way the wheel is spinning. And all the different zodiac signs here. It's number 10 in Major Arcana. This also came out, life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. Robert Louis Stevenson, The Card Players by Paul Cézanne, 1893-96, Musée d'Orsay, Paris, France. So not having excuses for situations, but just making the best of it, I guess. This is taking the higher road, also having the higher ground, fighting them off with a stick, taking an elevated approach maybe, or just seeing from a higher perspective also, standing your ground, holding firm, being in the midst of a little bit of chaos, but needing that chaos in order maybe to see clearly what it is that you need to do. 7 of Wands, so it's fiery and it's action doing. Even though this card is pretty relaxed, maybe it's just getting together over lunch or something like that. Two Cups is on the bottom. That's that, I've described it before as an intertwining of souls, but it's also just like seeing eye to eye with someone. And so I think these maybe go well together. It's understanding the other person's perspective. It's sharing how you feel. It's sharing something, exchange. It's reaching across, giving some sort of advice, or just, again, conversation, exchange. But this also popped up when I heard the word relationship. So it can also obviously then just mean a relationship between two people, or maybe more, but since it's 2 cups, it's water, emotion, feeling like you're on the same page, feeling like there's some sort of camaraderie, I want to say, camaraderie of exchange, camaraderie of just, yeah, this is, I love you not only for what you are, but for what I am when I'm with you, Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And the Terrace, it's saying Address by Claude Monet, 1867, Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York. Nice, breezy day. Just trying to see if there's some sort of connection here, but it could again just be like taking action in order to get on the same page with someone, and that bringing in some luck and good fortune. There's 3 people in this card actually, or 4. There's 2 people watching them. I want to say like projecting out or like seeing into the future a little bit too, which I usually think of more as like the 2 of Wands, but could be seeing into the future of like what you want to see happen, talking it out, visualizing it. Even keel, also balanced emotions. Maybe also putting yourself in someone else's place. Shoes or something, so that you can understand where they're coming from. This is Paulina Tarot. It's kind of whimsical and, well, you'll see. What else do people need to know for the coming few days or week ahead? This is the Hangman. So taking a time out, a break, a pause to collect your thoughts, to gain new perspective, something that's like, just saw a picture behind me, hanging behind you, maybe hanging some decorations, some decor, making it feel like home. But really, I think just taking a time out and a break in perspective, and in order to collect your thoughts, seeing from the opposite point of view, upside down, seeing the world upside down for a second, so that it's a lot of up the down staircase. It was a play I was in a long time ago, just a school play, but so maybe something having to do with like rebellion and just wanting to go against the current. Maybe trying to go more with the flow and see how, if you don't fight not necessarily taking the easy road, but just kind of trying to go more with the flow instead of constantly fighting the current. I don't know where I got that. This also looks like some sort of Joker, and he has 2 eyes on his hands, and spider and turtle and bird's nest, bee's nest. Let me see that again. Bottom is the King of Pentacles. I oftentimes think of the pentacles or the discs as your environment, or your auras, your surroundings, your environment. But it could also be a person, and it often refers to a person, so Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or just someone who has very grounded, solid, sturdy foundation, who is maybe wealthy because they've accumulated they've worked hard over the course of their life, and they are able to just have a good grasp on things that's going on in their surroundings and their environment. Did I show it to you? So more like earthy tones, a lot of earthy tones. Could also mean just material belongings and in your home, and or having to do with nature, or just. I'm going to pull one more from this deck. It's new. What else do people need to know? So I guess just between the Hangman and the King of Pentacles, and Earth signs are, grounded, and they take this slow and steady approach. So with the Hangman, taking a time out, a break, you can also talk about creativity and maybe just getting creative with your resources and being very resourceful, and seeing where you can implement what it is, what do you have around you that maybe you forgot about that you could implement or use to your advantage to help you gain a strong footing, maybe with the Seven of Wands from before. Stabilize. What else people need to know? About 3. So this is the High Priestess. So something that's secret, or Two of Cups did come up, and I have Justin Bieber's song using the Victoria's Secret there. I related that back to, I talked about family before, and name Victoria came up, so that was what that, and also the description of the Two of Cups, and also he says, Cupid ain't alive, arrow got your name on it, like arrow, not arrow, but just a different way of thinking of it. But just keeping something close to your chest, being a little bit secretive, a little bit mysterious. Knowledge. She looks more like a wood nymph or something. Again, the light of the moon, and so paying attention to your emotions, and but this could also just like maybe someone has a secret that they're keeping from you that you're trying to figure out, and you're having to be very intuitive and psychic, and maybe you're connecting again with the Two of Cups, connecting on a psychic wavelength level with someone, or you just feel like, they just kind of get you. They know, maybe finish your thoughts kind of thing. Tree bark has some interesting patterns on it. What does that make me think of? It makes me think of a painting, actually, I have in the house here. My aunt did, and those white trees that kind of chip away, and it has that sort of, makes me think of paint chips, and how that could be a cool fabrication, almost intentional. So where it like lifts up a little bit, you can see the underside, and just creating more of like a, so it has almost the effect of like feathers or some like fringe or layers, but really it's like just part of the fabric that flips up. You can see the underside of shadow a bit. That's what I got from the trees. That makes sense to everyone. There's also 2 in the major arcana, so it's the start, it's the flood of an emotional feeling of psychic intuition, of seeing a little bit beyond what's not right there in front of you, but maybe is, like just seeing things beyond the veil, and maybe asking to see beyond the veil a little bit, or just let some information, some psychic guidance come to you. Because the next card that came out was the Empress. So this is then the formation of those emotional feelings into a creative endeavor, project, some sort of outlet, or that allows you to like nurture it too. It's an ongoing thing. This is also getting out into nature. We have the King of Pentacles here, so from before, so this is also maybe having to do with nature, but it's like a, what have I seen recently that looks like this dress? There's like a little lion back there, and there's a lot going on in this card. She has some sort of stars coming out of her hair, and kind of reminds me of like a ballerina or some sort of garden dance. Again, like just being out in nature, and like it's like bangle bracelets but are separated, so, which makes me think of the video that I just added to the Earth playlist, which is Self-Esteem by Your Wife, and I was really excited to come across that because for the last week I've been looking for, I guess I could have just gone to the store, but I was looking for those sort of curved round thread needles. I don't remember what they're called, but because I thought I could put it as an earring and just make a sort of makeshift sort of half hoop alternative to a half hoop. And when I came across her video last night, I was like, oh, that's what I'm going for. More like that's an actual earring, but I thought that would be really cool. Just sort of half moon, almost like a crescent moon hoop, which makes me think of V&A because when I was in Paris and I took a lecture from V&A's head draper who was still living, and she showed us her pleating technique, which I can't imagine it's a big secret if she's showing it to students and anyone who, random American kids. So in case you don't know, it's kind of interesting how they did it. For V&A, who had the very tiny pleats and Grecian gowns. So what they would do is cover the mannequin in some sort of paper, and then have the garment that was pinned down with all the pleats on it, and then use one of those curved threading needles and sew down each pleat. Not each pleat, it was every other pleat, and that are like a 1/4 inch wide. It's tiny, and just do that all the way down. And so the paper is there. So if you since you're sewing on a dress form, so if you hit the paper, you've gone too far, so you don't sew the dress onto the dress form. So smart. But yeah, it took a long time. It was very precise, and obviously. But it was really interesting to learn from her since she was V&A's head draper back when, so all those little techniques, and maybe seeing how you can apply different techniques, various techniques in different ways, just getting creative with the mixture of different techniques, because the next thing that came out was, here we go, Six of Pentacles. I have Bon Appetit there in the first playlist because, as you can see, she's giving to sometimes it can mean like charity, sometimes it can mean just sharing or abundance coming down to you from universe, from heavens, just help. A lot of times, I think of the 6th house, and that is Virgo, and it is Pentacle cards, so I think of help and receiving help sometimes, giving help. Where do you need to give or receive? Allow help in, ask for help. But I have Bon Appetit there because in a lot of typical imagery, kind of like middleman is, which I also think of angels, middleman, is just kind of pouring down some coins to someone that are buying. So Bon Appetit, which kind of also then relates to that Marie Antoinette theme, which is let the meat cake, but it's not always so. Sometimes, most of the time, it just means help and just receiving what you've needed, what you've asked for from whomever you've asked for it. So this reminds me of a little. What are they called? Those not starfish, but I think people probably know what I'm talking about on her dress here. And it's just out of like a circus. She's all her little like rabbit friends, and reminds me of like Mad Hatter. That'd be a cool fashion show. So yeah, again, High Priestess and the Empress, Hangman, and 6 of Pentacles. So I just feel like it's a very creative energy. So maybe just finding a lot of creative solutions, or looking for new creative solutions. What kind of monkey wrench can you throw into a situation to spice things up a bit, or even if it doesn't stay or stick, but just to help you see things in a new light or a new context or a new perspective. Next deck I have is this Hermetic Tarot, since we've been talking a lot about alchemy, and this is brand new. I haven't even really looked at the cards, so see what I get from it. What else do people need to know? Coming week, the highest and greatest good. This is the Star, daughter of firmament. It's totally different imagery I'm not familiar with, but it's all black and white. Immediately thought of paper flowers, and also like a combination of paper flowers and fortune. Those foldable fortunes you used to make as a kid. Kind of that star in the center looks like it. I also put Iggy Azalea's kind of Clueless remake video there, because remember the dance scene, and she like goes down and they have that whole like choreographed dance at the party, and just some of the lyrics and things like that. And also, I don't know, I always kind of feel like Fashion Week, especially in September, is kind of like back to school for the fashion industry. And I guess Cher in that movie would be like equated to like the star of a high school, you know. So, and I feel like if you are in a star type position, then you should be giving inspiration and be an inspiration and a leader. So I feel like that's kind of a more real world example of how you might equate the star to your everyday life. And the sixth house, again, with the Six of Pentacles, talks about your everyday, your daily routine, your daily life, and what you do for work on a daily basis. So you can kind of see what you have there. It's interesting to see how that kind of does seem to work out for a lot of people. I mean, I have Neptune there, so it is about like bringing the ethers into reality for your everyday careers and something. So, but again, it has some sort of like wind mill with the astrological signs at the bottom. I think of those metal windmills that go in opposite directions, that create their own shape as they move in opposite directions. And also the Tree of Life here in like checkerboard, which would make, could be a cool, like maybe a little bit more abstract, but pattern in beads, maybe repeat on a dress or something, you know, just that Tree of Life pattern one after another in beads or string or something, you know, very loose threads. It's Jupiter, the Sun, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Moon, and Saturn. So the main planets. So it's kind of, again, all encompassing, like your speech, your emotions, your how you see yourself, your ego, your self-expression, your abundance, your luck, your ability to expand, and also contract with Saturn and the work. So it's pulling it all together and following your North Star and whatever that is for you. And speaking of constellations, and it has an explanation book, which I just left outside, so just lots of, even down here too, like lots of like geometric shapes and folds, and again I think of like origami or some sort of like fortune. That'd be a fun invitation or something to a fashion show or anything, a fortune that you get to play with and open it up, and it's the invitation. Here's the Three of Pentacles, Lord of Material Work. So this is all about craft and honing your craft and skill and starting from the foundation up and building something on sturdy foundation, taking notes, taking instructions, blueprints, making an outline for yourself, but it talks mainly about all those things combined. If you're doing a good job of those things, then it talks about being recognized for that at work or in school or whatever it is that you are in. People taking notice of your work, and can also talk about architecture a lot. Listening sometimes from the other side. There's so many meanings. Here we have thorns, and that is the video I added today as well. And with the geometric shapes, I kind of also think of like diamond in the rough or rose of thorns. What's that song? Bret Michaels, right? I just thought of like a record, you know, because here it looks more like a old record, which then I kind of also think of, so we talk so much about this, like all these cycles and how he just repeats and over, and beginning is the end, and how that's kind of like a record, and how he just kind of keeps going out and out and out in these circles as the music plays, and then you just kind of have to lift the thing up and start it all over again. So some sort of Native American arrows here. Also, and it's just been a huge inspiration, basically. Oh, that's the star. Still talking about pentacles. So working your way through something, I think of like a rose bush, or an old Disney movie where the princess has to get through like the thorns and get to the castle. So like hacking something down, working your way through the thorny bush to get to the prize, seeing the prize at the end of the road, knowing that it's worth the work, worth the attention to detail. This is Capricorn and Mars too, so maybe those planets are important. I'll pull one more from this deck. Some oracle cards at the end. Queen of Swords, Queen of the Throne of Air. I just think of like, I don't know what I think of that. So again, this is sort of speaking your mind. Someone who's very outspoken, who has a lot to say, maybe. I just think of someone who has an opinion, who's very straightforward and very, sometimes, I mean, it can either, there's this whole spectrum, you know, obviously, like it could be someone who is very loud and someone who really just speaks fast and has a lot to say and just constantly talking, you know, those people. Or it can be someone who is more reserved, and Queen of Swords, but is very, you know, it's swords, it's air, it's thoughts, it's words, it's communication. So it's a lot having to do with how you communicate and making sure that you are very clear in your communication and leaving no room for miscommunication. And I always think of like fairness, and again, I have like Iggy Azalea's team there, so it's being a team player too, and maybe sometimes giving some direction, but it's also listening and being able to take in a lot of information and process information and speak what's on your mind, but, you know, at the higher vibrational energy, it's keeping everyone in mind, and it's having gone through a lot of experiences so that you now have that in the back of your mind. You have that experience to draw from, and you know what you should say, you know what you shouldn't say. It is, again, maybe it's just a lot of thoughts or air communication coming at you, or maybe you are doing a lot of writing or something that has to do with communication, anything of that nature. So again, I think it's maybe keeping an open mind too, because swords could be equated with Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. Libra being more of the balance and balancing out of the Gemini, which is usually two opposing opinions. Sometimes can be a little flip-floppy, or seen from the other's perspective, maybe like with the Two of Cups. So making sure that you incorporate that Libran energy as well, as an example, if you happen more towards the Gemini side, so staying grounded and fair and like even keel again. Justice, law, too. And I think of keeping an open mind with Aquarius and being very, again, outspoken and just getting your words across in a strong or forceful way, but still remaining pretty calm, I think. Making a point to, and that's funny. I mean, how her car in that video, I had the strangest experience the other day driving home from a coffee shop, and I saw a police car. It was behind me. I don't think it was following me. I mean, it was just middle of the day. I was just driving home, but it looked just like the car in that video, except inverse. It was white with like 2 black stripes. It's the Queen of Swords video that I'm talking about in the new playlist. It was like unlike any police car I'd seen, although it looked like a police car because it had smaller lights. It wasn't like a security car. It said police on it, but it was not like, it didn't have the Chicago colors, like blue, white, like red. It didn't have any of that, and I didn't catch the license plate. I just noticed how weird it was. I had to do a double take, and when I looked back a third time, it was gone. And I was driving down a street where, it was in between 2 cross intersections, so it would have had to get to that next intersection in order to turn, I think, unless it pulls into a driveway. I didn't notice, but like, it was so bizarre. It did not look like a real police car. But I think it's just very strange how every time I've had one of these interesting experiences, it's been this like black and white aesthetic, whether in car, license plate, shirt. And I haven't seen that car since driving around here anywhere, so it's weird. Anyways, Queen of Swords, I think of spirit too, mind, spirit, even tone, maturity. Almost looks like the clouds here are like rose outlines, or those ink stamp prints, chiseled out imprints or embossing or something like that. So again, using your higher mind. And the Princess of Cups is on the bottom. Princess of the Palace of the Floods. So she has her swan here and a couple swans. What are those types of, I was going to say metalwork, but it's not. It's black, and you chip away at it so you reveal the white underneath. And again, kind of like the skirt technique I was just kind of made up with the paint peels. What are they called? It's like etching, sort of, but it's, yeah, you chip away at it so there's white underneath, and you can create all these designs. But you have to start, it gets, how do you do it? You, maybe like the deeper you go, the more white you get, so kind of like like dissolution, calcination, getting to the essence again. But so you have to like really plan it out, how much you, or even painting too, with ink, how much, you chip away, because it gets lighter and lighter, and, or paint, it gets darker and darker, so, having a clear plan, I think of too, with the Queen of Swords, but again, there's, even still with that, there's some sort of flexibility because of the layers, and it's me recognizing layers. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone. I'll pull an Archangel Oracle card, and then end with Bird Oracle card. So, encouragement, guidance from Angel this week. Patience and take back your power. Archangel Raziel, use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. And I think that covers a lot of what we've talked about. There's something about it, I saw somewhere that people wore capes. Maybe it is talking about the tarot, but how the robes, the capes, connected them to the heavens. A lot of people in the tarot wearing red robes, capes, whatever you call them, as an indication that they are connected to the higher realms. Here it's gold. Gold is a good conductor of electricity, and that's why people always think that, like, aliens came here to, like, mine gold, because flying spaceships and things like that. But maybe just blanket coats. It's like my new saying now whenever I'm stressed. Blanket coats. A little rainbow in the background, and patience. Archangel Jophiel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. Had a flashback to 3rd grade and how, the whole learning by doing thing was kind of implemented. Instead of science class, we would go out into the garden and have to come up with experiments for our own little plots and things like that to see, and track if our additional elements would help the garden grow better. And we added, I remember me and my partner added toothpaste to our water, because we figured, toothpaste cleans bacteria in your mouth, so maybe it'll help clean any sort of surrounding soil or bacteria in the ground, and it did. It worked. Our garden was, not a ton, but a little bit. I just thought of that. So maybe, again, gardening and just watering, giving, nurturing to what helps grow something. Even if it's just making sure you nurture, take care of yourself. Maybe just drinking more water. Patience, though. Being patient. Asking for patience. I like the multicolored wings here. I feel like those colors are really prominent right now in fashion. Is that what they're called? Topiary trees? All these different shapes. And just enjoying the outdoors. Patience and courage. So, right, to end and sum things up, let's pull one from the Winged Enchantment Oracle deck. This is from before. Ostrich. Just go back one. 26 Peacock. I haven't gotten that one before, which is actually one of the visuals from the Alchemical Cycles, Peacock. I think it's the sixth stage, individualism. And I realized later in watching the last video back, and the sun came up, it's self-expression, identity, individuality, when I talked about what's coming next, so that makes sense. But yeah, it's letting your colors shine, show your inner universe, thinking of a fan, too, and just opening up. And seeing the full range from something that was more simple before. So I also think of pleats and how you could have some sort of inset pleating or something like that in a skirt. So when it moves, you see the whole, you see different, colors and patterns take shape, like waves. 23, ostrich. Need to see it closer. I'm ostrich, one of the great connector birds. I am the odd man out. I am acceptance. I am that which is not obvious. I am earthbound bird. I have firmer grasp on what it takes to ground the world of spirit. I belong to both worlds at once, striking the balance. There you go, balance. Finding the harmony. if you have found me, it's time to bring those messages you hear back down to earth. So think of like Moon and Taurus, like bringing, again, emotions, intuition down to earth. No wisdom does service to the world if it is left to rattle around in your head, kind of like the Queen of Swords, like getting it out, and also the Six of Pentacles, maybe writing things down as they come to you. Some people fill up so much on spiritual knowledge they forget to share. Others simply fail to come back down. The higher worlds are mesmerizing, but like me, you are earthbound for a reason. Find a creative outlet, tell a story, make a move. Raise up your head and keep your eyes on the prize. I'm a quick runner and can show you how to quickly spread your newfound wisdom. Perhaps you already know your best angle and have simply come to ensure that you follow it through. You are channeling, you're bringing something forth. You are of the earth, you are ostrich. So again, just staying grounded, and I feel like that is a theme right now of just needing to connect to whatever it is that grounds you and makes you feel stable. Maybe even just going outside, putting bare feet on the ground and feeling some sort of sense of connection to earth type energies. It's something that I need to usually do, maybe not like go outside barefoot, but like, whatever it is that connects you to a feeling of stability and groundedness, and maybe also getting in touch with like the senses, sensuality, and smells. I think I've been doing a lot of perfume type themes also within this playlist, which I kind of think of as the frosting on top, the last piece of the puzzle of an outfit or something like that, because it's the sensory olfactory part of the outfit of your aura that you show up in. So I don't know, I really like perfume, so that's one of the reasons I went with that. But anyways, so ostrich. Not hiding away, putting your head in the ground, not like looking at the things that you need to take care of, and keeping your eyes open, and maybe even again with the long neck, having a higher elevated perspective on the situation, like the Seven of Wands from before, so that you can see everything going on below. Just trying to see the big picture and what's connecting to what and who and how, what are those connection points that you can draw from and build upon. So anyways, I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you have a great end of the week or beginning of the week whenever you see this video. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.